Hey guys, how's it going? It's HaHaBear. If you're a fan of Osu, there's a fairly high chance that you have heard of this person called Yuikonnu before. We, as Osu players, can encounter her name pretty much everywhere while playing this game, thanks to a ton of her songs getting mapped, ranked, and loved. With close to 90 ranked/loved maps under her name, Yuikonnu is undoubtedly one of the most recognizable artists in this rhythm game community. Personally, I really love some of her covers such as Ai no Scenario, Ghost Roll, Yume Chizu, and more, but here are some of her more universally popular ranked maps in Osu. Or and probably the most well-known of all, in collaboration with Ayaponzu, With that said, not everyone knows who Yuikonnu is, even after all these years of listening to her singing. In fact, she is probably hands down the least well known out of all the singers that I've covered so far for non-Osu players, yet is probably the most famous one specifically for people playing this game. So without further ado, let's have a brief look at the history of Yuikonnu and who she really is. Before we start, we have to clarify some things first. She works, or used to work, under 4 different names: Primary, Yuikonnu, Yuiko, and Yuiko. Primary is the name of the Dojin circle in which Yuiko, the name that is used to refer to herself, is the leader and collaborates with others to make music. Yuikonnu is the name she strictly uses for her utaite works. The last Yuiko in hiragana was used to separate her commercial works from Dojin works, but is no longer used since 2009. Yuiko started singing because of Nishikawa Takanori. Being a huge fan of him and seeing him sing his heart out in one of his concerts made Yuiko decide to become a singer herself. At first, she was aspiring to be a voice actress and simply made a small personal webpage in which she uploaded samples of her voice. This, however, was noticed by small music producers Nigoro and Mei Clausen, who decided to all come together to form a Dojin music circle named Primary in 2004. At this time, however, Yuiko was more focused on collaborating with other groups instead of producing her own songs or albums. Primary's first album, Naisho no Otobako, came out about a year later in January of 2005. Here is how Yuiko sounded like 14 years ago. As expected for small music groups, the album didn't really make a huge hit. Yuiko went on to either sing or write for songs for various commercial sources including PC games, light novel CDs, and even eroges. It was much later in April of 2007 when Primary released their second original album, Rotate, where Yuiko truly started to pop off with her more refined style of singing. From then on, she released 2 albums under the name Yuiko, 5 singles, and 6 more albums under the name Primary, but none of them really got too much traction either. It was much later in January of 2011 when Yuiko decided to start uploading to NicoNico Doga under the name Yuikonnu, where she uploaded her first cover, Moso Sketch. Oh, by the way, the reason for this discrepancy in name of Yuiko versus Yuikonnu was that since NicoNico was a platform aimed at teenagers, whereas her original name Yuiko was used for many eroge music, which she thought could lead to inappropriate influence to these younger audiences. In the coming years, her popularity started to really grow as her covers of Sozo Forest, Setsuna Trip, and Kisaragi Attention in 2012 combined for over 1 million views in NicoNico. She then released her first album, Nijiro Chocolatier, in August of 2013, where many of her super famous songs in Osu can be found. Yuikonnu then went on to upload more covers to NicoNico. She released her second album, Strawberryism Sengen, in December of 2015. In the meantime, Yuikonnu also collaborated with the famous Nanahira and Ayaponzu to temporarily form a group named Maho no Tame Shoujo Club, where they released an album named Nejimaki to Okitegami. While her popularity was steadily growing in NicoNico, it didn't stop Yuiko from making music as primary with Nigoro and Mei Clauson as producers. They released their 8th album, Sweet's Holiday, in December of 2011, which includes a very recognizable song in Osu. Primary went on to release 6 more albums including From Garden, Point and Shutter Girl, and 5 more singles including Inai Sekai, Fragile Garden, and Struggles in the preceding years. While this was all happening, Yuiko also wrote lyrics for animes, the most noticeable of which are Jumping and Yumeiro Parade, which were used as opening themes for the anime series Kiri no Mosaic. Her most recent activities include her singing for the visual novel Anata ni koi suru renai rusetto, where she sang Petit Bonheur, the main theme for this eroge. To sum up, Yuiko has released 14 albums and 11 singles under the name Primary and has released 2 albums under the name Yuikonnu. She also has over 60 uploads in NicoNico and has already made herself extremely famous in the Osu music scene thanks to her now very recognizable voice. However, I find it quite saddening that she hasn't really made any major appearances in, let's say, the anime music scene. I can only wish that her popularity within the Osu community to branch farther out so she can be noticed by more major music companies and producers, and one day maybe even debut as an official singer. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, feel free to press the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this in the near future.